It's been 45 days since we were right here, landing in Addison, Texas, the busiest single runway in America. We're here on short final. I've been out for nearly 2 weeks flying the airplane and probably got 25 hours in it. But today, we're going to start fresh because it's been about 45 days since I flew the plane. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit scared. I'm a little bit rusty. This whole channel's about being rusty. Long times in between flying create the lack of proficiency. And I'm going to get out and I'm going to fly 20 hours and 10 flights for the next 10 days. And my proficiency is not going to be what it is right here. We're going to head to Hot Springs, Arkansas. We're going to go see a grandbaby. Because when you buy an airplane, you're buying a time machine. When you buy a Bonanza, you're not trolling around the pattern, you're moving with speed. When you got a panel like that in front of you, you're there to push through a little bit of IFR and to arrive with confidence. But that lack of proficiency, I'm not going to use that autopilot today. I'm going to hand fly over. There's controllers shortage, so we're not even going to be able to pick up VFR flight following. We're going to have to push out from underneath the Class B airspace that is DFW in Dallas, Texas on our own at less than 2,000 feet. And on the other side of it, we'll climb. We'll get over some clouds. We'll get into Hot Springs. We'll be entirely too high right along. We'll pick it up here at Addison at the hangar. Pretty straight shot, a little bit of deviating around some weather or clouds in this case, but not much. Let's pick up a clearance and start rolling. This represents the first of many decisions on this trip. Are you going to take the whole length of the runway, or are you going to take an intersection departure that's about 5,000 feet? It's not that hot, it's one person, you are fuel to fuel, but you're not that heavy. 5,000 feet's more than ample room. If it goes wrong, there's a whole interstate to the left of you.
Alright, we're going to hand fly today. And I'll just leave that out. Going to go up to 2,000 and then we are going to get the heck out from underneath this Bravo shelf. Going to hand fly to Hot Springs to see the baby. And we'll get down here. We'll do us a little run up at Bravo 7. And get ready to depart. Now, I want flight director on, and we're going to seek altitude at the beginning.
Even though I'm hand flying, I'm still going to set up the flight director. And on the flight director, you can set the altitude you're headed to. You can set the heading, in this case the runway heading, and then you can tell it that, hey, I want to climb at 105 knots. So when you come up, your pitching and three-dimensional horizon will lead you to where you're wanting to go. That's a big advantage over the six-pack from days of old. I do like it a lot better. It's not required, but that autopilot helps you even without being on.
Start of a big trip, you know, when you buy one of these planes, you buy it for what I'm doing today, which is going to a conference. To work. If you got time, you can fly. So I'm heading out about 2 days early and visiting family and friends along the route. It looks pretty doggone clear for the next few days. And I am just excited to be out. It's been a little over a month since I've been in here. Since the plane was broke in Detroit, I got it home, and then all the other guys have been flying a bunch.
578 to Golf Golf, Addison ground. You could contact clearance on 1190.55.
So, what we're going to do is, we are going to rotate at 71, we're going to climb 77. After we get 400 feet, we're going to lean it a little bit and make our turn at 500. And we're going to fly up underneath the shelf at 2,000, flying 045. Tower November for Foxtrot Hotel, holding short at Bravo 7 for 16 departure to the east.
November 4 Foxtrot Hotel, Addison Tower, runway 16 at Bravo 7, cleared for takeoff, wind 1807, gust 15.
clear for takeoff at Bravo 7016.
After any layoff, I always feel a little bit of pressure. I think it's just natural when you get in there. I'm not a pilot that flies for a living. I'm flying for recreation. So, I have really thoroughly run the checklist, making sure I'm not missing something. I have announced out loud, not just in my head, that I'm going to rotate at 71, climb at 77 for just a second, push this nose over to 105, stay well below that 2,000 foot shelf. As soon as I get to 500 feet, I'm turning because the Bravo space is just a mile or two in front of me. And you're not going to talk to the tower again, believe it or not. That's the last they're going to talk to you if you take off out of Addison VFR, no flight following. And that's where, your head's fixing to have to be on a swivel. Even with the modern airplane tracking in the plane, there's still plenty of planes buzzing around out here that you're not going to see unless you see them. And to the novice, if I'm moving 150 knots and somebody else is moving 100 knots, that's 250 knots of closure. You'll go from a dot to own the other airplane pretty quick. At altitude, I just kind of start picking my way through up top. I'm still hand flying because I want the touch from having a hand fly, hold altitude, hold direction for when I start this descent. I misjudged the descent though, because I should have probably been coming down 10 miles before I got there. I'm 3,000 feet when I reach the field. I like to come down kind of slow, maybe 300 feet a minute, and really use the inertia coming across the ground if there's no real tailwind up high. There's a cost to that though. As you come down, you're running out of options because that's less altitude you've got. So you kind of got to pick and choose that. If it was bad weather or mountainous terrain, I would probably drop at 500 feet a minute. But coming into Hot Springs, you're over fields most of the way. Hot Springs is kind of the start of the mountains, if that makes sense. But there's enough weather in the new setup and the new Garmin equipment that you can really pick your way around. I probably could have went up another 2,000 feet and been out of these clouds. I forgot to bring the oxygen with me, or I definitely would have done it. But I just kind of picked my way through, and we'll get on the other side of this, and we'll start down on this adventure to go visit grandbabies on the way to work.
All right, there we are. We're trying to slow up out here. And they're a long way from 1,500 feet, that's for sure. Well, let's just make a 360 right here. Nowhere near traffic pattern altitude. That Springs traffic, 4 Fox Hotels, 4 miles to the south, maneuvering for a left-hand base for 3-1, be a full stop. Hot Springs. Hot Springs traffic, 4 Fox Hotels, short final 3-1, be full stop, Hot Springs. Alright, so it says we're high, we're 500 feet, we're going to pull a lot out, and we're going to trim for 80.
500.
Alright, there's 500, we're starting to look pretty good there.
Well, that'll do it for this leg. Hot Springs, Arkansas, and a hand-flown landing after 45 days off. I'm not going to lie. The first hour was awkward, my hands were slow, my scan was sloppy. But that's it, you're rusty. It's just a reminder that skills fade, and you've got to keep them up. Proficiency is not exactly your skill set. Anyway, every checklist, every radio call, every small correction, it takes some finesse that only time will build back in hours in the plane. This trip isn't about the hour or so. It's about rebuilding rhythm. 10 flights, 20 days, and a few grandbaby hugs along the way. Because when you fly your own plane, you don't just travel, you connect with the machine, with yourself, and with the people waiting for you on the other end. Ride along. Grandma, we're here with the miniature version of Benny. He's getting bigger. I know it.